Well, guys, a long time no see, I guess. It's been a little bit since last year. And pretty much this video is pretty much just to say, guys, I plan on being back this season for the Longhorns and for the Cowboys, and maybe some Ranger stuff as well once we get into playoff season. We'll see what goes on. Just kind of give you guys a little update. Like I said, it's been quite a bit since I've done one of these videos. Still working at the TV station. I know, of course, I've been posting some of the stories I've done up there. Just if you guys want to watch, I know that most of you, though, who are subscribed to this channel, don't really care about what's going on in local East Texas news. But those of you who do, that's great. I will say I've really enjoyed it. I've been there for almost a year now. As some of you know, I am doing sports as well. I'm pretty much the third string sports guy. We're starting our Friday football stuff coming up this coming Friday with high school ball, so we'll be live from there. That'll be great. Getting to cover some local teams that I used to play against when I was in high school, so that'll be pretty fun. So, but you know, I did this last year. I talked about how I wasn't going to be doing videos last season because I couldn't really watch a lot of the games. I worked on the weekends. My days were what was it? Friday through Tuesday. Those were my days. But now I finally moved off of weekends, so I will get a chance to watch some games. Hopefully, go down to Austin a couple of times with my buddies. Hopefully, see the Longhorns in person. Because as we all know, of course, we won't, if you're not in Austin in the stadium for the first 2 weeks of the season, more than likely you won't be able to watch the Texas Longhorns because of Longhorn Network. That's a whole nother deal into itself. I'll probably address that at some point. So yeah, but you know, I explained it last season, and I'll say it again though for those of you. I didn't do this last year because if you don't actually watch the game and sit down and are invested in it, you really you miss something when you start to comment on them. You start commenting on the highlights, but you don't know what led up to that highlight. And so I feel like this way, you know, now we have to watch the games, I have to kind of interact with you guys again. I think that'll be pretty cool as well. For the two teams that, of course, that I will be talking about this year, of course, Dallas Cowboys, Texas Longhorns. For the Longhorns, it's another one of those mystery years going into the season. You know, the last 2 years, ever since Colt left, we've had that. First year, awful, which was my senior year there. Next year, which was last year, mediocre, but I'll take that result over the year before that anytime. And so we go into this season, still question marks at the quarterback position. I know that David Ash has been said he's going to be the starter, but then there's been comments that Case McCoy's getting some PT as well. You know, I think that the defense, we all know the defense is supposed to be great. We have an awesome amount of great running backs. We have very talented wide receivers, and we'll see if that offensive line can block well for us. And yes, there have teams that there have been teams that have been very successful without star quarterbacks, but it's going to be hard in the Big 12 to do that. So I think that's going to be interesting to see what Texas can do. You know, because you've got Oklahoma, Landry Jones is back. You've got West Virginia in that high-powered offense. Oklahoma State's going to be, you know, bringing some new guys, but they're more that Oklahoma State is almost like Texas Tech was, where they're just a system now, and the guys who come in know how to run that thing. So, and then we'll see what TCU brings to the table this season. Casey Paul Hall, I think, is a very good quarterback. We'll see who else is coming back around him. So, just question marks for the Texas Longhorns. Seeing, you know, I think, and I've heard people talk about this for this team. It's the biggest sway. You know, there's some people who don't think they should be ranked, and there's some thinking that the Horns can make a BCS bowl. So, a lot of different opinions in that way. We'll see how this turns out. And then for the Cowboys, you know, I'm hoping that these injuries are a blessing in disguise, and that's just me trying to be positive with Witten, Dez, and Miles. Letting the younger guys get some work in the preseason and kind of letting coaches kind of get to see a lot of time from these backup guys to see who can really get some playing time. I think Tony Romo, as people have seen, has looked crisp. I don't think he's the problem, which though there are still Cowboys fans out there who keep saying that. Not educated ones, but they're out there. So for the Cowboys this season, my outlook is it seems like the same song and dance for the Dallas Cowboys is you go into each season saying, look at all the talent, look at what they got on paper, all this kind of stuff, but then it's just doesn't pan out. And this year's going to be rough. This is going to be a very tough schedule. Every single team in the NFC East is going to be at least competitive this year. With Washington, I think, upgrading. Philadelphia got extremely hot there at the end of the season. They're bringing guys back, and of course, you get the defending champs, the New York Giants. But I still put Dallas in there as well. I think Dallas is a very good football team, and it's going to be fun to see them play. And I think they can compete. And I think for both Cowboys and Longhorns fans, what we really want, mainly for Longhorns fans, we just want a team that can be competitive. Well, we want a team that goes out there every Saturday and we have a hope of winning. For the Cowboys, we want a little bit more. We at least want to get into the playoffs and make a run at some point. I know it's going to be tough, but this year is going to be rough to ask that for them because even though we're very good, as I said earlier, the rest of the division is extremely good as well. But 9 wins may win this division again this year. So we'll see. But really just this video, just letting you guys know I am back. Glad to be back. I'll try to do it. I'm not sure about the previews, things of that sort. Most it's just going to be my thoughts after the games get done playing. I'm going to try to do each one. If I miss one, it's because of work-related things, not because I'm chickening out. This is not a deal where if the Cowboys and Longhorns lose, I don't want to talk about it. This is an outlet for us. Still gonna be doing that. Still be posting some of the new stuff I have from work. If you guys want to see that, it's mainly just to archive them for myself. But I do, I want to thank a lot of you guys, and I want to thank you guys for helping me with that. That a lot of my profession at this point right now, the fact I got this job, a lot of it has to do with YouTube, with you guys. Me making videos, getting comics, kind of critiquing me or things of that sort, and me kind of having to watch myself and kind of improve as well. Also, at the same time, there are those, specifically guys like Shango, who have had a direct connection. As I said earlier, before, back in college, I contacted him when I needed a recommendation letter to get into broadcast school. He did that for me. So there's connections everywhere, guys. And if you want to be a reporter, as hey, I'm official now, I guess. And you want to do something like this, YouTube's a great place. Don't act a fool on here. Don't be, do something that's going to get you fired or people not want you on here. But have a good time. I still believe, even if you're covering teams or working in sports, working news, mainly with sports, that doesn't mean you can't have a favorite team. And I don't think you can openly talk about it. Yeah, you have to temper it a little bit and give, a little more credit to other teams. But I'm always going to be a Cowboys fan. I'm always going to be a Texas Longhorns fan. That's not going to change, no matter what part of the country I move in. Anything in that part. Just lucky for me, I'm back here in East Texas. So we will see you guys. Longhorns. I don't know what I'm going to talk about with the Longhorns the first 2 weeks though, because maybe I'll find a way to watch them. I don't know. It's Wyoming and New Mexico, so if we do have troubles in those games, and we have problems anyways. But the Cowboys, we're going to have Saturday night football. Wednesday night football against the Giants, and it's going to be a rough one. But it's going to be a good test to see where this team has progressed since last season. So good to be back, guys, and we will see you guys later. Hook 'em horns.